Hello, Internet.
You think he's gone? He's not gone! That's the whole point! He's never gone!
The best candidate for us to take our message
You
to the
see?
people, that we can bring better jobs.
Here again, I was messing around with isolating subjects from footage and Mittens was in the news. The concept was borrowed from a joke at the end of a Young Turks video, but don't tell the kangaroo that. Also, subscribe to the kangaroo. He exposes a wide variety of nonsense, which includes geocentrism, faith healing, climate denial, and some of the downright oddest manifestations of religious fundamentalism I have ever seen. Unintentional shout-out video.
Oh my God, oh God. It is a joyous day. Now, over the past year and some months, I have shed light on many a psychopath that lurk around on YouTube. It's sort of like Howard Stern and his Whack Pack, where he has a bunch of sort of social outcasts or straight up retarded people who he makes fun of in a loving way. I make fun of these people not so much in a loving way, more in a older brother coming back from college, seeing his younger brother has changed his name to Azriel and has dyed his hair black and is rolling around with a bunch of goths. The shaming and the noogies and the beatdown that should occur in that situation from the older brother, that's me, to society. Is it fruitful? Will it work? No, it won't. It's merely an exercise. It's a vestigial, instinctual reaction that I am merely playing out. I would like to proudly announce that I have found a new person to ruthlessly shame. He will bring you enjoyment. He will bring you laughter. He will make you cringe. He will challenge your will to live. He will challenge your optimism in the future of humanity. His name? Brandon. Now, let me start by saying I have downloaded every video he's made, and I have archived them. So when you people run over to his channel and mock him to his face, he might, if he has a sliver of common sense, take this shit down. It doesn't matter. It's too late. I have it. Okay, this is my property now, my intellectual property that I will satirize and poke fun at and hold up in the light of day the same way that Rafiki held up Simba. Okay, I will show the other animals and all of the giraffes and the elephants will bow down to this religious psychopath as I rip him apart and laugh at his face. Not with him, at him. His name is Brandon. He goes by an alternate name. And that name is the Armored Christian. You heard it correct. The Armored Christian. For starters, that is a total ripoff of the Armored Skeptic, the popular atheist YouTuber who creates videos from a jail cell in Ottawa while getting neo-Nazi tats on his back. He's running out of skin. Now, what strikes me as a little bit odd and obvious and obnoxious is the fact that he spells armored with a U. Now, it's one thing for the Armored Skeptic to do that because he's Canadian and he doesn't know any better. You know, we give them a pass. Yeah, it's color with a U. Just throw U's around wherever you want. This guy is American. He has no accent. How do you like that for self-centeredness, huh? No accent is the American accent. He is spelling it with a U for no reason. Armored in America is spelled like this. You do not use a U. Not to mention, how ridiculously uncreative is it to flat out rip off another YouTuber and take their name? It makes my blood boil to think that this guy can just piggyback on the creativity of somebody else. It's inexcusable and it makes me sick.
Hey guys, it's Armored Christian, Brandon also. Just had a thought. I just woke up, I'm all groggy, but in the Bible it says that I think in the morning or something like that, or just in general, to empty your bowels. Now, if God doesn't exist 2,000 years ago, men having written the Bible, how would they have known without science that where your feces are held is your bowels? How would they know that if God doesn't exist? See, now, if God does exist, it would be true. And it is true. That's powerful stuff there. So if you guys want to ponder that, play with that, understand that, it would help you. God does exist. Far too many ways to go about it, but he does. So think about that, See ya.
You know what? This is the second time I've watched it, and it is worse, infinitely worse the second time you listen to this. On its face, it is probably the most absurd video, let alone argument, I think I've ever heard. Let me get this straight, because somewhere in the Bible, a collection of books written by people that you don't know from the ancient world, somebody mentions that you should empty your bowels. And he is impressed by this, because this is before modern science, and somehow miraculously, these people knew that shit came from your bowels. Therefore God. You need to sit in the lotus position right now to really ingest that. Adjust your body.
Notice any sounds in the room. Observe how they arise spontaneously. You don't have to make any effort to hear them.
Because that is next level dumb.
Simply notice what you do in fact notice in each moment.
How did they know that shit came from the bowels? I mean, I can't even get my head around how stupid this is. It turns out, through my 10 seconds of research into the word bowels, which occurred 10 seconds ago, bowels means sausage. The ancient Latin, it means sausage, meaning our intestines look like sausages. Not to mention the shit we create from our intestines look like sausages. Unless you are like me, whose crap resembles rabbit-like pellets.
Simply observe these phenomena as they appear in consciousness and return to the breath.
So, the people of the ancient world, yes, they were clueless. Yes, they had no friggin' idea what was going on almost everything around them. Totally ignorant people. But one thing they did know, and one thing they were the masters of, they know where shit comes from. It comes from that little hole, not so little for some people, on your ass. And somebody wrote down, they didn't even write, there is no scientific insight into this. It's just empty your bowels. That's all it took for him. He read the words empty your bowels, and this pontification followed. Therefore God. How could they know that shit came from the bowels? I mean, oh my God. And let me just, fear not. This is the tip of the iceberg with this guy. There is so much more to come. And I have only browsed over the content, but it's juicy. And I'm sorry to bring up the word juicy after discussing bowels and fecal matter, but it is juicy. And finally, I leave you with this. Do you want to know how I know that they were aware of bowel movements back in the ancient world? I was recently in Barcelona, and I came across a manger scene. It was during Christmas. And there was something in this manger scene that seemed a little bit out of place, to be honest. I was somewhat shocked by this. I would like to share that video with you right now. So, okay, here we are in Barcelona, and we've come across a nativity scene. You know, just been visiting churches all day, so it's not surprising. You got your wise men here, being wise, being on top of camels. They're heading over to the nativity, which is somewhere back there. There's the recently de-virgined. There she is. Where are you, Mary? And we got camels, we got sheep, we got all sorts of goodies. Then if you pan over here to the right, we got a little bit of the underworld. We got a guy, when nature calls, it calls. You know, I don't care if the Messiah is being born a palm tree over.
Take a seat either in a chair or cross-legged on a cushion,
The man has to do his business.
and gradually become aware of the sensations of sitting.
God does exist. Far too many ways to go about it, but he does. So think about that, See ya.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. Did he just say, stink about it? He was trying to say think about it, but he was subliminally affected by the topic of conversation, and he said stink about it. At first pass, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I had put that into the situation. It was my Freudian slip. On second viewing, no, it was his. Look at what the subtitles have to say.
God does exist. Far too many ways to go about it, but He does. Let's think about that, See ya.
Even the robots that run Google think he said stink about it. So let's review. In a video where you are bewitched by the fact that ancient men knew that shit came from our bowels, and because of this amazing scientific insight into shit creation, you think that's proof that God exists. And you are recommending that we stink about it. I love this guy. You cannot make this up. If I sat with a blank piece of paper and said, what kind of poser, Gomer Pyle looking chump could I invent to just get on YouTube and start doing Christian apologetics, I could never come close to this. I would never dream that somebody would make this argument. And yet it's fantastically real. Please, to all my subscribers at home, stink about it.